Here are seasons in life when it feels like everyone else is moving forward, and you are standing still. Prayers feel unanswered, doors stay closed, and hope begins to feel fragile. You may wonder, has God forgotten me? Today we're going to walk through Scripture to answer that question, not with opinion but with truth. The Bible tells us about a woman named Hagar. Hagar was a servant, overlooked and mistreated. When life became unbearable, she ran away into the wilderness. Alone, afraid, and carrying a future she didn't choose. And in that lonely place, something extraordinary happened. Genesis 16 verse 13 says, "She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me, not the God who ignored her, not the God who forgot her, but the God who sees." If you feel unseen today, God sees you. Hagar thought her story was over, but God met her in the desert, not with judgment, but with direction and promise. This reminds us of something powerful. God often speaks the clearest when life feels the quietest. King David understood this feeling well. Before he was king, David spent years hiding in caves, running from enemies, and waiting for a promise that seemed delayed. In Psalm 13 verse 1, David cries out, "How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever?" This was a man after God's own heart, and even he asked this question. So if you've asked it too, you're not faithless. You're human. But David didn't stop with his pain. Later in that same psalm, he says, "But I trust in your unfailing love." This is what faith looks like in hard seasons. Not pretending everything is fine, but choosing trust in the middle of uncertainty. The Bible is filled with stories of waiting. Abraham waited for a child. Moses waited in the desert. Ruth waited in loss. Joseph waited in prison. Waiting does not mean God is absent. Waiting often means God is preparing. Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 9 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways." What feels like delay to us may be divine timing to God. Let's look at Jesus. Even Jesus experienced moments where help seemed delayed. When Lazarus was sick, Jesus waited. And by the time he arrived, Lazarus had already died. Martha said what many of us have felt, "Lord, if you had been here." But Jesus showed them something deeper. God is not limited by time. God is not bound by endings. Jesus called Lazarus out of the grave, and what looked like loss became testimony. Maybe God hasn't answered yet because the story isn't finished. Maybe what you think is the end is only the middle.